Thanks very much for joining us, guys. Welcome to the second British Esports Association interview with a sort of industry and career focus on esports. Today, my guest, well, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
My name's Ben. I'm the former head coach for Dignitas in CRL. The current captain of TeamUK, and I'm Liam Thunderstruck McCarran's personal manager.
So, for those who don't know the abbreviations of things, it's Clash Royale, right? So, one of the biggest, well, it is the biggest mobile esport.
It's currently the biggest mobile esports league. It's run by the game developer Supercell, and it's based out in the West region's based out in California.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So Ben, maybe you could start by telling a bit about your background. You know, how you became a coach and how you've got to where you are today.
So I got into coaching because, unlike my younger counterparts, I didn't really have the time to just grind and grind and grind and grind. Obviously, I had work and other commitments like that. So, and I also felt like I had a bit of a underlying quality in like people management and teaching. So I felt like I'd be more better suited to helping others understand the game, and I really like developing a combative strategy within a team setting. So it just appealed to me.
Cool. And so you've said you're ex Dignitas, but you manage one of the best UK players in Clash Royale, Thunderstruck. What does that involve? You know, tell us about your role at the moment.
So currently with Liam, he's currently signed with NRG, which is one of the premier esports organizations in North America, which most of you already know. The day-to-day basis is just making sure he's all right, making sure both sides, him and NRG, are fulfilling their contractual obligations. I handled his exit from his previous team, Cream Esports, and then obviously the arrival with NRG. Currently talking to, can't say who for obvious reasons, but two different companies about personal sponsorships for Liam, because our goal is really to just push his brand out there and get him for the wider esports audience, not just Clash Royale.
Got you. And what's it like managing a pro gamer? You know, are there any things that you do that people might not think of, you know?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's just like, think about what you as a gamer would need, and it's basically someone just to facilitate that. You've got an advocate, so you don't have to do stuff yourself, so you can fully just focus on being the best you can at the game that you compete in.
So does it tend to be, give us some examples, is it general admin, you know, arranging
admin stuff
and
coordinating with him when he's available? So like, we've currently got an interview with Red Bull Esports in the works because he's the current MEO World Champion, so it's coordinating with both parties, finding out when's the best date, then setting up the details around that. And obviously arranging with NRG when he had to fly out to America, making sure his contract was all good. It is a lot of behind-the-scenes admin work, but the thing that I like about it is pure. I've known Thunder for quite a long time. I met him back in 2016, 2017, and that might not seem very long to you esports vets, but for mobile gaming, that's a long time. So I feel like when he's playing, like seeing him happy, winning, it brings me joy, brings me pride. Upset with him, not just for him, when he loses.
Yeah.
So it's a roller coaster, but in the end, it's worth it because I just want the best for him. He's kind of like my son.
You get close to someone, you know. I remember seeing a coach to Gorilla, one of the UK FIFA pros, Dragon, I think the coach was, and this was the year that Gorilla won the FIFA Interactive, or it was as it was known then, Interactive World Cup in London, and it was a real emotional thing, you know, when he won on stage. The coach came over, and they enjoyed that moment together. You know, because you are like on a journey together, so you share those experiences, right?
I mean, if you go over some of the VODs from Clash Royale League Europe Season 1, you'll see many times me jumping over the barrier from where the team sits, running onto the stage for when, like, say our game against G2, we won the 2v2 set, played great. Our player JP got a bit unlucky in the 1v1 set, didn't play how we knew he could, but then it came down to a 3v3 King of the Hill. And first two players, Max and Juanca, unfortunately fell to their first player, and JP completely reverse swept them. And the emotion at points like that, it's just, the adrenaline is crazy.
Yeah, it's that thing you can't describe, right, that you get from traditional sports as well.
Yeah.
You know, a last-minute goal or something that wins you a cup final, or do you know what I mean? Gets you into the cup final.
I think the only feeling I can describe is similar is, for people that are familiar with football, I'm a Cheltenham fan. Okay. Recently got promoted through the playoffs with a 95th minute winner against Sunderland, and it's the only thing that came close.
I have to say, just really quickly on a tangent, some people don't like me. I'm wearing another Arsenal top here, not an actual kit top, just a casual t-shirt. But we had one of our players with you guys, right? Helped you get promoted. Who's it?
Christian Bilic. Yeah.
What's he like as a?
I mean, he's a leader in the dressing room. I've seen some videos online and stuff of him just rallying the boys. Bit gutted he didn't stay, but I mean, Premier League football compared to Championship, you can't blame him really.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does. But yeah, sorry, back to esports. One thing I really wanted to ask you, Ben, and this was in it was buried further down the questions I sent you beforehand, but I'm itching to ask you about it because it's very topical. You know, you are captain of TeamUK, is that right?
Yep.
Clash Royale.
So TeamUK has competed in. There's been 3 national competitions that have gone on in Clash Royale. There's been MGL League, which is Mobile Gaming Something League, which was run by a guy called Enchanting and Drew Crowder. There's been CR Nations, which was run by a Spanish organisation called LVP. Yeah. Had a live finals, was great. We made it to top 8, I think, in that. And we're currently competing in WRL, which is World Royale League. And we've got our final for it on Saturday against Portugal.
Excellent. So that's that's quite a big achievement to get where you are. You've beaten a lot of other teams to get there, and there's a lot on the line. Tell us a bit about the team as well and how it works, because I'm not too familiar with that setup.
The way there's been lots of different stages. It started off with a group stage, then I'm pretty sure it went to another group stage, then it went to like a knockout stage, then another mini group stage, and now it went to like the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. But there was tons of countries entered. I think it was like 50, 60 plus, and we went all the way undefeated up until I think it was either the quarterfinal, the last game of the last group stage, and it was against Portugal. I mean, I don't want to make excuses, but we was missing like 2 or 3 of our best players, but it happens. It's gaming at the end of the day, so we're going to go out and get revenge. Yeah,
excellent. That's what I like to hear, and get good luck. And tell us who's on the team.
So currently we have a roster of. Just have to go down the list.
Because I'm not familiar. It's a team, isn't it? It's not. While Clash Royale is 1v1, I'd be interested to know what the format is and how it all works.
So it's currently the format. It started off differently. It was like a 6v6 best of 3 King of the Hill style.
Right.
But now it's 4v4 best of 3. Like individual set is best of 3, and it's King of the Hill, so winner stays on.
Right.
Our current roster includes Thunderstruck, obviously. The former CRL European champion, St. Belican.
Yeah.
Both of those two are currently up for Player of the Year in the UK Esports Awards.
Yeah.
We've got the current, literally won, it was like last Sunday, Boothmec is the current CRL West champion, so that's Europe, North America, and the Latin America region.
Yeah.
It's a player for Team Liquid, absolutely unreal. And then going down the squad, we've got a player called Dead00. We've got a young guy who joined later on in the season through tryouts called Hawkeye, and someone else like him called Max. We've got a CRL Asia player called SB.
Yeah.
He's born in England, parents are English, but he's currently living in Australia, so it makes time zones a bit awkward.
Yeah.
And then we've got Reclaw. And I mean, on top of that, we've got there's two more, Mystic and Julesy. Julesy, I don't know, are you familiar with the EE Mobile series, the event that Fnatic did?
Yeah, I covered that a little bit, and I know that Thunderstruck won that, didn't he? He was on Fnatic for a time.
He never actually joined Fnatic, but
right.
that's a different story for a different day. Julesy was his opponent in the final. Before that, Julesy wasn't as known as he is now, but that event really made him. Like, he played surreal. Everyone on the day, like, we were surprised he didn't win, to be honest. Like, he was just in form. You know, when someone's in that mood, it's just get out of their way.
That's interesting, because I remember being sent a press release saying that Thunderstruck had won, and with it had won a contract. I'm guessing something had broken down.
He did win a contract, but I don't really want to talk about it out in the open like this.
Yeah.
But no one did anything wrong. It was just more about how he perceived his future.
I see. Right. Okay. That's absolutely fine. He's with NRG now. You know, it's another huge name in esports. So, you know, and I'm sure we're going to see more and more from him and the likes of Saint Bellikin. And that's an impressive roster that the UK has got. You know,
I mean, 4v4 King of the Hill, Saint Bellican, Booth, Mech, Thunder, and SB. I don't see a country out there that can beat us. Literally, if we have all four of those players on the same day, it's done. That's how confident I am in my boys.
Excellent, and it's great to see, you know, British talent coming through in a variety of games now. Some people, well, in recent years, you know, people have said, "Oh, the UK is behind other regions in terms of the talent we produce," but actually, in a lot of games now, we have some great talent. F1. Yeah. You know, Gwent, okay, there might be some of the smaller games, but
especially one game that stood out to me, like, it's growing, and it's Rocket League.
It's we've got talent
one of my favourite esports to watch, and there's plenty of different UK people playing for it. I mean, you've got Scrub Killer.
Yeah, he won, didn't he? A championship.
Yeah, he won the ROCS Season 7 with Vitality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the opportunities are there. You just have to sort of... they're not going to present themselves to you. You have to grind. You have to get your name out there. You have to show that you deserve them, and then go after them yourselves.
And on that note, is that what you did, Ben, when you joined the likes of Dignitas and Tribe? You know, how did you get there? You're with Tribe now. Cool.
No. I started off with Tribe.
Right. Okay.
I was hosting CCGS, which was the Clash Royale Crown Championship Global Series for Clash Royale. It was Supercell's first punt at esports.
Right.
The European region was hosted down in Germany. I was there hosting and as a guest, and I met this gentleman called Don John. Cannot speak highly enough of him. He's the COO of Tribe, and we got talking from there, and we had similar ideas, we had similar goals, values, and it just blossomed from that. That's how my first step into coaching, my first real set into esports. His passion became my passion. He mentored me a lot, and then once Clash Royale League got announced, it wasn't going to be, because they're a bit of a smaller organisation. They're new. They're a mobile-based organisation. They wasn't going to be able to cover the cost of my visas and stuff like that. So I then went around looking at different organisations that I could potentially pursue. Came across Dignitas. Fun fact, Dignitas was founded on my birthday.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, that was just a cherry on top.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously British founded, spoke to OD, learned so much from that man. He guided me through troubled times when I was out in LA. He mentored me on the wider range of people management, and I mean, honestly, can't speak highly enough of him. He's just a great guy in general. I mean, you've probably spoken to him a few times yourself.
Absolutely, he's on our advisory boards on the British Esports Association. You know, we're lucky to have him, and you know, honoured to have him on the board. And it's big news last week that he's moved on He's left Dignitas,
Yeah.
and where will we see him next? I wonder.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a bit weird that after 20 plus years founding the organisation, he got a 2-line tweet, but I don't want to get into it. It's politics.
Yeah, it's politics and stuff, isn't it? I think that's right. He's been in esports 20 years or
Yeah.
so, he said, but I think Dignitas was technically founded when a couple of orgs merged or something back in 2003. Something
it was
like
like it was the formation of like his Quake roster with a couple of other teams or something like that. And then years down the line, obviously the Harrison Blitzer Sports Entertainment got involved, and you know the story from there.
That's it, yeah. Do they still have Clash Royale players, Ben?
Yeah, they do. They went a different route than what they did last season. Obviously, I don't want to speculate as to why, but they got all North American players and a coach. They finished, unfortunately, like I know some of the players on their team, they're good friends of mine, so I don't want to talk bad about them. Unfortunately, they finished last in CRL West, but they're all good kids, and I can't hold grudges against them because at the end of the day, they're doing what any other person would do. They're creating opportunities for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And on opportunities and achievements and things, it's hard to say what's been your biggest achievements and memories so far because you've got the final this weekend. But are there any that jumped to mind before that?
With just memories, it's all about the win against G2, the clutch wins in CRL, and if, obviously, fingers crossed, touch wood, we win this Saturday, then that'll take it all. I mean, again, UK Esports doesn't get much recognition that it deserves, so it would be good just to add one to the cabinet, so to speak.
Definitely. And Ben, can I ask, we get one of the most frequent questions we get asked at the British Esports Association is from young people who are looking for a career in esports and will ask, how can I become a pro gamer, or how can I become a pro caster, a pro coach, and so on. What advice would you give to them? And
so for me, if you're looking to get into it as a player, yes, you can build on what you've already got, but you've either got it or you haven't. That may sound a bit harsh, but I don't think people should just be limiting themselves. If you love a game, that's great. There's so many different opportunities in esports. There's casting, coaching, playing, marketing, content, just to name some that roll off the tongue. And it's not just like stuff you need experience for as well. Like Razer, the like perishables brand, has just announced an internship they've got going in California as well for a marketing intern, and stuff like that is constantly popping up. It's just, the main advice I would give is be persistent, stay committed.
Yeah, no, that is good. I'm always, whenever people ask me as well, I always say, do it, just do it. That's some good advice I was given. I did that. I set up a news site a few years back, which led to my position here at British Esports. If you want to be a coach, do you reach out to the players? You obviously need good, excellent knowledge.
You need good understanding of the game. You need to be a somewhat decent player yourself, because at the end of the day, if you don't, then you can't do anything other than people manage. But I feel like transitioning from that into talks about like coaching, I wouldn't say it's a job for someone that's on the younger side. It's because it can be very testing if you're having a disagreement with a player or you're dealing with an admin that's a pain in the ass. It's just, you've got to have a strong head on your shoulders, deep understanding of the game, and you don't ask, you don't get. So contact people. Don't feel ashamed of asking if you can have a tryout or something. It's how you get stuff in life. You don't ask, you don't get.
I've just seen someone in the chat. Sorry, I missed this, guys.
That's all right.
TJ Trav _01. It says you forgot the key man on the UK roster at Hem.
So that's Toby. He's a good friend of mine. He's met him down at the Red Bull MEO UK as well. He's the co-captain for TeamUK. He's one of our players as well. Doesn't get to play much because, he's not going to get in the roster when we've got players like Bellican, Thunder, Booth, and SB. But he does work with me behind the scenes, and there's also a couple of analysts that have really helped us out this season called Jack and Tom. They've, obviously, you know how important analysts are in esports. They can be the difference between winning and losing. It's that simple. And to have two guys like that, it's just a blessing.
Excellent. And RS Andy J0 in the chat. I hope we've answered your questions. You've said, what about as a coach? I'm not sure which point. I think I missed that when you said it. But if we haven't answered your question, please do ask it again, and we'll do our best to answer that. On Clash Royale, then, Ben, tell us a bit about the scene. How does it differ from other esports? What makes it special?
For me, I think it's more about the fact that it has one of the widest audiences I've seen. Because, I mean, face it, every day, every person on this planet basically has a mobile phone. Like, it's so easily accessible when it's, as a casual, it's easy to pick up. Like, if you're just looking for a game that you can have fun with and then get that basic understanding so you can watch the esports side of it, it's great. And the thing that I love about it's the fact that you've got 2v2, 1v1, and it can literally come down to like 1 HP on a single tower, the difference between winning and losing. Yeah. And the mind games of it with picking counter decks, thinking, oh, he's going to pick a counter deck, I'm going to run this. It's like any other esports. It's just what I love.
Yeah, I have to say, something that stood out to me a few years ago was the Clash Royale, I can't remember what it was called now, the Crown Championship or the World Championship that took place in Stratford. The Copper Box Arena. I loved what they did with the stage. They mimicked the game arena on the actual physical stage.
Oh, I can't think of the right word. Just the things you can do with it on the technical and viewership side is crazy. I mean, currently at the moment down at the OGN Super Arena in LA, they've got like massive towers standing when you're playing. You've got benches. It's where they do like the PUBG stuff as well. Got a massive audience. And down at the Copper Box, I was there as well. That was when I was with Tribe. It was crazy. The atmosphere was great. I mean, they had fire dancers in between matches. They had pro content creators and influencers throughout the community providing insight on the matches, and it was the best players at the time in the world. So you couldn't get much more better than that. I had to take hats off to that, because the broadcast and production quality during the regular season for like NA and EU wasn't amazing. Like, it was good for their first try, but there was stuff to improve on. So going into that and seeing it, it's crazy.
It does sound like an exciting esport. I'm going to have to watch it a bit more. I'll definitely tune in this weekend for the final. TJ Trav has asked, is there a particular instance of you disagreeing with your own player, Ben, and how did you deal with this?
So, I mean, I don't want to name names because I don't think that's fair, but we had an instance on TeamUK where someone was just getting on a few of the boys' nerves, just being generally immature. I'm not going to go into specifics, but so I had a chat with him a couple of times, and just eventually it was just like the last straw, because I had people coming to me, like players, other staff members, even admins from the leagues, saying this isn't okay, blah blah blah. I don't find what he said in voice call okay. It's very off-putting or whatever. So eventually I had to just sit him down and say it's not working out. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's life. You're not gonna get along with everyone you see. I wish him the complete best because he's a good kid. I've met him in person a couple of times, and that was it really. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to speak bad about the kid because he's a human being at the end of the day.
But these are the challenges you have to deal with, right? As a coach, It's not always plain sailing.
Especially in Clash Royale, because Clash Royale has quite a young demographic, so it tends to lean more on the immature side.
Yeah.
But I feel like I said, if as a coach, you've got your head screwed on, you might need a bit of guidance at the start, but you should know how to handle it.
Yeah, definitely. And ND09 has said thoughts on trainer. I think he's meant to...
Trainer Ditputs. Ditputs was...
What's Ditputs?
It's stupid spelled backwards.
I thought he was supposed to say disputes. I was about to say disputes.
So Trainer Ditputs was one of our players on Dignitas. He was part of our Clash Royale squad. There was internal stuff that I'm not going to go into for his part and my part. But overall, great kid. He contributed a lot to the team during practices. he was a good person outside of the game. Like, I actually got along with him really well.
Yeah.
It was just a few minor disagreements between like teammates and management that obviously it didn't work out. But again, he's got what it takes to get there. He just needs to have the right mentality.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. And talking of UK talent, you mentioned a lot of the players. I think you've got the most of the UK talent on the team, right? On Team UK.
Yeah.
You know, tell us what kind of UK talent there is compared to maybe other regions. Are we one of the strongest in the world?
At the very best, so if you take like the best four against another country's best four, I would say we are one of the best in the world. Like I said, 4v4, if we have Bellicum, Boothmac, Thunderstruck and SB, I don't see a country that can beat us. Obviously, there'll be tough challenges, and at the end of the day, it's Clash Royale. Anything can happen, but that's how confident I am. But going further down the list, that's where it gets like a bit strained. Obviously, we've got great players on top of that, but like not Thunder's level, not Boothmac's level, not SB or Bellicum's level. Whereas a few more of the other countries have a bit more strength in depth. Like Spain's, as a country, it has the craziest fan base for Clash Royale. It is absolutely insane. Like, there was... what's it called?
Wasn't there a Spanish champion? Was it Sergio Ramos, or was he just named
Mexican.
after a Spanish...
He's Mexican.
Sorry. It's because he was named after a Spanish footballer that it's confused me.
But, I mean, a Spanish team won CRL EU. It's the team Bellicum was on. It was Team Queso. Other than him and a guy called Anthony, it was an all Spanish roster.
Right.
They've had all Spanish staff. They recently won Superliga Orange, which is another competition run by LVP, based out in Spain. Had a live finals at an event called Gamergy.
Yes.
Gamergy Masters. And watching that, the production value is amazing. They have thousands and thousands of people that came to watch finals. It was crazy. The support that they have over there is insane. And the strength and depth of players is... for another team's manager, even worse. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I hear that. I know that the Spanish Superliga in League of Legends is pretty big.
Yeah,
you know, and they have a strong sort of viewer base out there that I'd love to see replicated in the UK. I think we're getting there, but it's like it's different culture as well, and you know
it is. I feel like esports isn't as socially acceptable as it is in other, like Spain or in North America or over in Asia. It's still got a way to push through in the UK, but it's on the right track. When you've got like organisations like Fnatic, you've got Excel competing in League of Legends as well. It's definitely going the right direction. People just need to come around to the idea.
I agree.
My parents' reaction to saying I'm moving to America for a video game was crazy.
Where are you based, Ben? I haven't asked.
I'm based in southeast London, near Cheltenham.
Right. So when you went out to the States, was that a one-off?
I was there for over 6 months.
Right.
We was living there. We had a team house. It was me, Trainer Dippets, JP, Max, Juanca, Messi, which was a Canadian, and our analyst Ender.
So was that with Dignitas?
That was with Dignitas. That was for the
okay,
CRL.
sorry, I wasn't aware of that. What was that like? You know, up in sticks, and you know, like you say, you've got to explain to your parents and everything. It's a big change in your life.
I mean, when I first found out about CRL, it was still up in the air whether it was going to be based in Europe, based in America. So I didn't actually know. But I've always wanted to go to America. It's my first time ever leaving Europe. So just up in and out, and it's an experience. I can't quite describe the feeling. just leaving home, like, bye guys.
And some people, you know, they love that, don't they? I think some people relish that. We've seen casters and content creators from here move. You know, Richard Lewis, one of the top British journalists, has been out in the States for a number of years now, I believe. And you know, we've seen that with players and things like that as well. You know, players like Kasing, who has in League of Legends probably played in various locations or been out in Berlin. Now he's back in the UK with Excel. But you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? In esports, I think if you want a career in esports, that's something you have to consider.
You've got to be willing.
Relocating.
You've got to be willing. I mean, on the flip side of it, it's difficult because then, say, like with the whole Dignitas getting a North America roster, I feel like it was more to do with the fact they didn't want to pay for visa fees. But it then comes down to that. Like, at the end of the day, if you're worth it, they'll do it. It's as simple as that. And in Clash Royale, the transfer market is just starting to open again with the ending of Sierra West's regular season and playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see a bit of roster moves there, but we're still waiting for that first obviously you've had Latin players going to EU and to NA, but we're first waiting for that Asian player to come to the US or to EU or LATAM, and just waiting for it. I think it will be a big day for Clash Royale as a whole because it will show that people are becoming more committed. They're willing to do stuff like that, and it will only help us grow.
Sure. Julesy23 has asked in the chat, what plans do you have to improve Team UK? I mean, can you improve them? They've done so well to get to the final.
I mean, there's always room for improvement. We lost the game at the end of the day. Whether we had people missing or not, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. The thing with Team UK is, and to be fair, Julesy's part of Team UK. He's he's the one that Thunder played in the finals of EE. The thing about Team UK is, this may sound surprising to you, but we don't actually practice.
Really? Well,
we are one of the best teams in the world, and I think over the course of the season we've done maybe 1 or 2 practice sessions. The reason why we are so good is because obviously Boothmac, Bellican, SB, Thunder are all with professional teams. They play with their teams, and then you've got Mystic, Julesy, just to name a few, that are with semi-pro teams playing in semi-pro leagues, so they've got their practice there. The reason why we do so well is because we've got a great group of kids, great group of guys. They get on so well. It's give and take. If you jump into a Team UK voice call, you best be prepared to get ripped the hell out of. But it's brutal sometimes. But they all know it's banter at the end of the day. Everyone takes it, everyone gives it. And the atmosphere in the camp is, I don't know. It's hard because a lot of them are younger than me, a lot younger than me. Some of them are 16, some of them are 17. But some of the stuff they come out with is would you kiss your mother with that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Parental advisory.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not their parents. I can't tell them what to do, and some of the stuff is quite funny, and it builds morale. Obviously, you get the odd person, I spoke about earlier, that takes it too far or takes it the wrong way. But that's where I step in. You tell them, hey, that's not okay, or hey, he didn't mean that, or you need to apologize to him because you need to think about how you word it because people might perceive it the wrong way. But I full credit to all of them. They work hard, they win the games, and they make the atmosphere what it is.
Do you know what, Ben? That's something I see or read about in football and other sports as well, that you get young people coming in who know they're talented and are at that professional level or semi-professional level, but haven't quite matured in terms of, their personality or their just professional demeanour. And that can be a challenge, right? Because you see that in football, some talented youngsters don't make it because of silly off-the-field antics or silly comments they make or the wrong decisions. No one's perfect. That's a challenge, right?
I think that's all just to do down with guidance, though. They need that more senior whisper in their ear just to push them in the right direction. I mean, for football, you've obviously got the coaches. It's the same in esports. You've got managers and coaches, but you can take the wider community as a whole and just go around to the more senior members of it. In our community, you've got Clash with Ash, Chief Pat, Mobile Matt, Trainer Lewis, all of the coaches in CRL, and just they're there for advice. And again, it's like I said, if you're trying to get into esports, it's don't be afraid to ask. No one's going to laugh at you for asking. At the end of the day, you're pursuing what you want, and this is an aid to help you do it.
Definitely. We've got a question here in the chat. I'm just going to, if people want to send in their last few questions, we'll aim to wrap up soon. I've got a couple left. Endy09 has asked, what do you think about Ender as an analyst? Is that Ender?
No, that's not Ender.
Okay.
Endy's a friend of mine. He's from the Clash Royale community.
Okay.
So Ender was our analyst from Dignitas. He's a great guy. I mean, we met a couple of months before we moved to LA. He helped me recruit some of the Spanish players, and he was vital living in our house because obviously it's a Spanish majority. My Spanish is very, very, very rusty. They taught me what I needed to say to tell him off, but that's about it. So yeah, he was great. If I needed to have a one-to-one sit down with one of them, or if I needed a second opinion on something that I didn't want to just go down my sole discretion and just an outside perspective. And as an analyst, he was great. He helped us. I mean, we ended up finishing 5th, just shy of playoffs, but we held 2nd and 3rd spot for a fair bit of the season. I mean, can't really complain.
Cool. Okay. And just looking to the future, then, Ben. Firstly, yourself. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years' time? Is this, do you think Clash Royale is going to grow? This is something you want to do in the immediate future?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see myself going anywhere for the time being. I love Clash Royale. I love the scene. So I just have to see where it takes me, see what opportunities present themselves or what I'm interested in doing. But one thing that does interest me is marketing, whether that's digital or traditional. So if Clash Royale doesn't work out, I'm going to potentially explore possibilities in that sort of area of esports.
We've recently hired a marketing manager.
Yeah, I saw.
At British Esports. So shout out to Morgan. And it's been a great addition because I'm very much, all about written content. I'm doing this now, but I'm a lot faster and I'm just more comfortable with written content. So it's great to have Morgan on board who has the sort of social media nous and the knowledge of marketing.
I think this day and age, that's very important.
Yeah, it is really important, right? Because a lot of the content in esports is on social media. It is video clips, it's things like we're doing now. It's
the way I can describe it is how I described Thunderstruck to when I was talking to NRG. He's brandable. It's all about how you present yourself in front of camera, off of camera, if you do content yourself, and just how you carry yourself as a person. It's he is one of the wackiest, goofiest, funniest kids I've ever met. But it's what people like. He'll give you those gift-worthy moments on stages that organisations love that are immortalised forever. Yeah,
definitely. And can I ask, Ben, in Clash Royale, what you're doing now? Do you have a part-time job? Because this is something that isn't spoken about much. Where a lot of people at the semi-pro level, they'll still need a full-time job.
So I work full-time. I do my own thing in the outside world.
Yeah.
Currently working with a team. Can't say who because it's not announced yet. But I mean, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the future. It's going to be great. But at the moment, I'm not thinking about anything else other than Saturday. Just want to get that W.
Absolutely. And thanks for doing this because originally I think it was going to be last weekend, right? And something changed.
The final was supposed to be last weekend, which is why we scheduled it for this week. But obviously things happened. We didn't want to play the final at the same time as CRL because that meant that we might be missing a couple of players. They might be missing a couple of players, and also we didn't really want to compete with a Supercell endorsed league for viewership.
No, I get that. And sort of lastly, then, how do you sort of see esports changing over the next few years, and maybe in particular mobile esports, because that's a sector that's sort of changed quite a lot.
Mobile esports is here to stay. I mean, I'm a big advocate for mobile esports. Sky's the limit. I mean, like I said, everyone's got a mobile phone. I think once the stigma around it changes and people start opening their eyes, they'll see that, who knows, 5, 10, however long it's going to take years, it will overtake console and PC. Yeah. It's just more convenient, and I feel like there's a lot more diversity to it.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. And Ben, thanks so much for your time. Is there anything else you want to add? I think this has been a really good chat.
I mean, keep an eye on the TeamUK Twitter at TeamUK_CR, and I'll be posting the details for Saturday's match in the coming either tonight or tomorrow. Just come support the boys, get behind us, and hopefully we can take this W.
Great stuff. All right, well, all the best. I wish you good luck, and I really hope you can take the win, and let me know.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's definitely either way. We'll put that in the newsletter, and we'll share this video out on YouTube and on our social channels, our newsletter, and everything. So, thanks again for your time, Ben, and thanks everyone else for watching. We'll hopefully be back next month with another live interview. If you have any suggestions for who we should talk to, please just give us a shout on Twitter or drop us an email. Thanks again, and see you all soon.
Take care, guys.